Hello. Today what we're going to do is we're going to work in oil pastels. Now you can purchase the oil pastels in a box like this, and eventually they're going to end up looking like this. So the first project I want to show you is that when you want to talk about geography and you're working in mountains and land, you can let the students express themselves by the different colors. They don't have to make it realistic. And so here is an example. If you're going to work in oil pastels, number one, always keep them in containers. And number two, have pieces of paper protecting your table if you don't have newspaper on your table. And so I'm going to use some colors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a line pattern. And I'm going to go in one direction. So for instance, I'm going to take this and I'm going to press down very hard, and I'm going in one direction. And what I like to do is I like to mix colors. So if I have a pink, I can put a yellow with it, I can put an orange with it. I put the same kind of value with it, and I'm going to overlap it. So I'm going to take a yellow and I'm going to go over it. Now this is a little trick, and I'm pressing down hard, going in one direction. And here is where it gets really interesting, is when you take your white does a wonderful job of blending. See how it blends it? Kids like that part. This is always happening, they're always going to break. There, you see that? It takes the two colors and they do a wonderful blending. Now what we want to do is we want to be creative in the colors that we choose, but also we want to be able to go in different directions. So if I went this way, I'm going to go this way next to it. And this makes the picture look much more interesting. So what color do you think I might want to put with the purple? Yep, you're red. A little red. So I'm going to take the red, I'm going to fill up, I'm going to make sure my edges look good, and I'm going to go over it. Now I'm only going to do part of the picture, then I'll show you an example of one done. I'm going over this way, and what am I going to put on top? Of course, is the white. That does a wonderful job of blending. So you notice I'm being very creative with my colors. Kids have a tendency to go brown here, but I'm going to go blue. And so I'm going to go straight up and down because I haven't gone in that direction. So you can incorporate the word direction into your geography for north, south, east, and west, for going in different directions. I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to blend it with the green. Now this is as far as I'm going to go, because when you have filled up your paper, what I'd like you to do is you're going to trace. Only after you have filled everything up do you take the edge of the black and you take and you go on and trace your shapes. And that really, whoa. Okay, watch it. I goofed a little bit. This is why we have nails. There we go, we fix certain things. All right, there. And we're here and we're there. And so when you get finished, it's filled, and it has different directions, and it's expressionistic. Okay, that is one use of oil pastels. Now, science is another favorite area here, and I'm going to take, and on black paper, you can do your coloring, and you can also do some blending, and there's some red. Now if you notice, it's not as bright as you have on your white paper. but you can still do some nice blending to show up. I have a little, this is one of my favorite projects. And so if you do something in outer space, what my students liked the most is that I made them incorporate a constellation and a meteor, and I would have a box, and I would put their artwork in the box. You spray adhesive and ultrafine glitter. I would spray it on there, pick it up, shake it, and give it to them, and they would have the biggest smile ever. It's one of the most popular projects that I come across. So we have talked about geography, and we've talked about outer space, and the other part of the demonstration is I want you to see how you can do a resist. Now a resist is a resist is a lot of fun, but it's very important that I used a little bit of black tempera paint, and I added water, and I checked it. I have to check it to see that it's not totally black. So let me show you. I have a few samples here. After a design, you can take the brush and you can go like this over. Now see what happens? If it's too heavy, it's going to cover your designs. So it's very important Here we go. And here, you've noticed the difference? This is very well colored. I pressed really hard and I pressed very lightly. So what happens is that if you, first of all, if you're too dark, it covers it, and you take it very lightly. Take it very light and go over it very lightly like this. Okay. Now if you have to, you can take a little paper towel and you can do a little bit of blotting like this. And when it dries, it's a resist. So I want to show you what we did here over in our examples. Now this is an example of our social studies with the different directions and outlined. Here's two examples. Up here is our science. Okay. And over here is a resist using geometric shapes for math. And here is a self-portrait, if you notice, very expressionistic, where they can write a story about themselves. Why did they pick out the cool colors? Are they really cool? And what did we use in our oil pastels? We used some lines and shapes. We're not looking at form because we're outlining our shapes. Color is very important. We do have some textural looks. Here we're working in 3D space. This is more flat. This is more flat. These are all 2D. We have some patterns of how we colored in and colors. We have patterns that you can see. Obviously geometric patterns and overlapping of shapes. The emphasis is right here where you can see what you're looking at the trees, at the mountains, at the sun, and the planets. So it looks like they're all pretty well unified. It feels like it all belongs together. These are some themes that you can look at, and of course you know the project. You are required for 2 pieces of artwork with 2 different disciplines, whatever you choose to work in. And don't forget to keep notes on your worksheet. Thank you. Goodbye.